I started card making as a hobby. My husband bought me a camera, so I decided to make a video. So today I'm going to make a card with the Delightful Daisies collection by Crafter's Companion. This is the paper pad. Lots of beautiful papers in the paper pad. And I'm also going to use this Delightful Daisies metal die to cut out a flower for the front. So this is the die. I'll be using my Gemini Mini to cut that out. So let's get started. I've got a piece of card from the same collection, the Delightful Daisies, and it is the textured linen cardstock. Now I've cut this card to 5.5 by 11, and we need to score it in the middle at 5.5. Just use your scoreboard, score at 5.5. Two thin scores. Don't push too hard. Better to do it more times than push too hard. So then I'm going to fold the card blank and use my bone folder. So there's our card blank ready. So we'll just put that to one side. I've got a mat and a layer for the card. So the mat is 5.25 by 5.25, so that'll just sit on the card nicely, leaving a nice 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. I have a piece of the Delightful Daisies which measures 5 inches by 5 inches, and that will sit on the top of there. I've also already die cut my flower, and that will just sit on the card there. But before we're going to stick it together, what I need to do is get some ink, and I'm using the Opaque Pigment Oasis. So I'll just get my finger dauber. And get my finger dauber. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bit of ink on the edge of the card. So I will just go around the edge of the paper, and I'm moving the card, not the dauber, around the card, keeping all the ink in the same place. That way you use less ink and you don't have as much mess to clear up. So just going round every side and just inking up the edges. It just makes it a little softer around the edges, and it'll tie it in with the blue card base that I'm going to be using. Pop your lid on your ink straight away, pop that to one side and clear up your mess. Right, just because that's opaque pigment ink, it just needs a little minute to dry. So while we're waiting for that to dry, I've got my sentiments here that I'm going to be putting on. So I'm going to put in Thinking of You on the front. This card is actually going to be going to America. We have family. My husband's brother and his wife lives in America, so I just want to send a card just to say thinking of you, and just pop a little note in it just to say hello. And in the middle I'm going to put with love that I've just stamped. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these, oh my glue's nearly empty. I'm going to put these on this scrap of paper and then I will cut them out. So I'll get my guillotine. And what I'm going to do is line up the edge of the sentiment with the edge of this plastic guard. And then I know I've got a nice straight line around my sentiment. And that way it's even all the way around without having to measure, because you're using the same guide on every cut. So that's that one done. We'll just cut out this one. Again, I'm lining up the white with the edge of the plastic guard. To make sure that it's the same. And then you've got no measuring, or it just makes it easier. And then I'm just going to stick this in the card. There we go, that's the sentiments done. I always have in my basket sentiments ready just to use, so it's easier. So I'm just going to squash that glue down. There we go. Now we've got everything ready. There's our flower. Also for the middle, I've got a piece of white textured card that measures 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to stick that inside. So just to give our ink a little more time to dry, I'm going to stick this. I'm going to round off 2 of the corners. Just to give it a bit of added interest in the middle. And I forgot to do that then. So I'm using Kalal all-purpose glue because it sets really strong. And I don't want this card to be bent because it's going to America. So I'm using the strongest glue that I can. So just push that down. And let's use our tacky glue with a fine tip applicator to glue in our sentiment. And I'm going to pop this in the bottom corner so that I've got all this room, plenty of room to be able to write a little letter to let them know how we're doing. So next what we need to do is to stick our, round off the corners, round off 2 of the corners. Oh, I should have done that one there as well. Okay, oh well. So all-purpose Kalal glue. Pop that on the card. Making sure you have the same border all the way around. I'm going to cut this off, these corners off, and I may have to ink it again. Maybe not, we'll see. Let's get rid of that because that's finished. No, I don't need to ink it again, so luckily that's worked out fine. So I'm popping all-purpose glue again. So to make it nice and strong and withstand the airmail. So I'm just sticking that straight on. Now with this flower, what I would normally do is I'm just going to get rid of I put a bit too much glue on there. With the Collall all-purpose glue, it rubs off. So if you put too much on, you can just rub it off. There we go. Nobody'd never know. So what I would normally do is I would normally pop this up on some foam tape and stand it up. But because it's going to America, I'm going to keep it flat. So I'm going to use the fine tip applicator bottle so that I can get my glue just where I want it to be. And you can just be very careful putting it just in the places where you need it. So I'm just going to pop that at an angle along the bottom. And just squash it down. And again, the sentiment, I would probably put that on foam tape as well, but same reason, because it's going to America, postage is quite expensive if you... Glue's not working. Let's use a bit of this. There we go. So I'm going to pop that at the bottom. And stick that down. I think it needs something else. So what does it need? Does it need a butterfly? I think it needs a butterfly. And I've got... No, I can't find one. So, not to worry. Let's cut one out. So we need a piece of... Shall I do it blue? Shall I do it white? I think I'll do it blue. I'm going to do it in the same blue as the flower. So I've got a bit of waste here left from when I cut out the flower. So let's just stick to the same blue. So I'll get my Gemini Mini. Pop that in the folder. Right way up with a cutting blade. With a cutting blade down. Pop that in the folder. And we'll pop it through the Gemini. So I'm just going to do it one way and then back again just to make sure that it's got all the pieces cut. So that's that done. And so what we need to do now is pop it out. So let's get our pokey tool. Take the end off. Oh, took the wrong end off. And there's release holes in these dies, so you just poke the release hole and then it will start to come out. You see, I've poked it and it's starting to come out, and then you just very carefully pull it out, and there's our butterfly. So what I'm going to do with my poker tool is I'm just going to just curl the wings a little bit. Just very carefully, very gently, just give them a curl, and then push the wings up. And then I'm just going to put glue on the main body bit and leave the wings free, and hopefully when it gets to America it won't be too bent. So just pop that butterfly on there, and I think I'll add some gems. So I've got some little dots there. So I think I'll just put some silver ones on. So we just we don't want them falling off in transit, so I'm just going to pop 3 little blobs of glue and then pop a little gem on the glue and give it a little push down. This one. And, and 2. And 3. Just down that side. Just tidy up that glue a bit. And then we'll pop 3 on this bottom corner. And because it's a 5.5 by 5.5 inch card blank, I'm going to have to make an envelope to fit it. Why are gems so hard to pick up? There we go. This tacky glue dries clear, so it's not a problem if you put too much glue on. Just give them a nice press down. And there's our card ready. So let's make an envelope. Let's pop that to one side, just up there. So to make an envelope, I use the Crafter's Companion envelope box. So this is the envelope box, and these are the instructions. So you can make different sizes. You can make box envelopes, or you can make flat envelopes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a flat envelope, and my card measures 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So I need to cut my paper 8.25 inches and mark at G and G. So my paper's at 8.25 inches. So we need to mark at G and G. So you just pop your paper in, level with this corner and level on that ridge there. So and we need to score at G turn it all the way around and score at G. And the second measurement was also a G, so along the sides, making sure you butt it right up, you score at G again, and all the way around on the last side, butting it up nicely, you score at G. So that's our scoring done. We can get rid of the box. So we need our little scissors. What we need to do is these little triangle corners, we need to cut them out and get rid of them. So we just cut along the score lines and cut out the little triangles. This is the last corner. Okay, so then, my desk's very messy. Then what we need to do is fold over on the score lines and give them a burnish with a bone folder. Fold all four sides over on the score lines and press each side to give us a nice crease. That one didn't want to fold, there we go. Giving us a nice crease on all of the sides. Yeah, that's right. So let's see which side looks nicest. Oh well, I'm going to glue it that way. So we'll get our corner rounder again and chop off the top corner to make it nice. Make it a nice envelope. So with this one I'm going to use a different glue. So first of all we need to glue down these two sides, the left and the right hand triangle. I'm going to push those down and stick the bottom one over the top and just give that glue a rub. Go over it with your bone folder to make it nice and square. And I want to decorate the envelope. So I think with this scrap, I'm just going to square it off. Probably I'll use my guillotine. I'm not very good at cutting. So I'll just square this off and stick this on the envelope. So any scraps you've got, you can decorate your envelopes and your insides of your card, and just use up them scraps while making the rest of the card apart from the front look pretty. Otherwise I will just throw this away. Just bear with me a second, I just dropped it on the floor. Same as these little scraps, you could always just stick them on your envelope. But I'm just going to put this in the bottom corner. Again, I'm going to use my fine tip applicator. The glue doesn't want to come out of this one. So let me just stick my pin in. Let's see if we can get it to come out. I'm going to put glue on all the little edges and make sure it's nice and stuck well. There we go. And I'll just pop this in the bottom corner. And I won't do anything else because then there's plenty of room for the address on the envelope. And then we need to stick some glue. So I've got this envelope glue from Amazon. And so what you do is, I find if you stick it on both sides that you want to stick, then it sticks better than if you just pop it on one side. So I've put it on the edges. Then, as a normal envelope, you lick your envelope and then close it. I'm going to leave it open because it needs to dry. Clean my mat because I went onto the mat. So thank you very much for watching my video. I will do more of it. I've missed a bit of glue on the envelope. I will do more videos. But hope you like this one. If you like this one, please hit the thumbs up, give me a like and a share, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.